Hey everyone, sorry again about making this video. This is my second take about the uh Donald Trump's talk about a civil war like fracture on his Twitter account. So I apologize. I actually found out that there was a mute button on here on my headphone, and I don't know why it was created to have that sort of function, especially when it comes to the PS4, which I use to play video games a lot, especially online. But anyway, I apologize for that, and that's why I'm making this video. So let's get down into it. Donald Trump recently made a thread on his Twitter account, which he was quoting an individual who was a guest star on Fox News. His name was Pastor Robert Jeffries, and he was talking about the concerns that many people have, specifically evangelicals, about the Democrats' efforts at trying to impeach the president. In fact, in his own words, he said, if the Democrats are successful in removing the president from office, which they will never be, and this is in parentheses, I'm not sure if Donald Trump actually made that or not, it will cause a civil war-like fracture in this nation from which our country will never heal. I kind of funny how there's a lot of outlets calling foul on Donald Trump. It's kind of weird because these are the same people that actually talked about something like this before. There's 2 years ago when there was the Charlottesville riots going on, there was a few outlets that actually suggested that this may be the beginning of a second civil war or something like that. So I don't know why they're just going out all out against Donald Trump when they are the ones that did the exact same thing. Hypocrisy at its finest. But nonetheless, this is a pretty accurate assumption. It's a pretty accurate assumption and a concern that many people are having. And I don't think it's just for Trump supporters or evangelicals or anyone on the right for that matter. I think it's also conservative moderates and liberals because they believe in the idea of using impeachment and government institutions to be just based on actual value, such as how they were intended to use. Impeachment what is intended to be used in order to remove corrupt officials or officials who commit any sort of crime such as treason, bribery, etc. But now it's just being used constantly by the Democrats as a political tool. We've seen this recently with Ukraine, how Nancy Pelosi immediately just said that we should have an impeachment inquiry, and then 24 hours later, Donald Trump releases the transcript, and now she's gone a full 180, decided to vote no on that. It's kind of funny how we're in this situation. Because honestly, I blame this heavily on the media as well as the Democratic Party and just the calls for violent action as a result, like groups such as Antifa. Because, like I said before, this mainstream media has been attacking President Donald Trump over making this exact warning, despite the fact that they themselves have made this exact same mistake in the first place. They did that back in 2017. They did that again. They're doing that pretty recently right now, and it's just not helping. All they're doing is just causing panic and just pointing fingers at Donald Trump, which in all honesty, they should be pointing the finger at themselves, to be completely honest, because they're the ones who have control over communication, information, the news, that sort of thing. I mean, Donald Trump is the president of the United States, but he is not in control of the media, especially with the First Amendment in place, where it basically forces the government to not do anything in terms of freedom of speech, which I'm glad for that. I'm 100% glad for that. I'm just trying to state the fact that Donald Trump may be the president, but he doesn't have all the power. Nonetheless, the mainstream media is definitely causing so much of of this crazy nonsense. They have been doing that for 3 years now. Ever since the back in November 2016, they've just been all out on arms against President Donald Trump. Hell, on CNN, there was a experiment where they actually I forgot who the group was, but these guys were the ones who calculated CNN and its coverage of President Donald Trump. 91% of that coverage happened to be negative. Apparently, there's a big bias there. It's strange that CNN doesn't see it. It's strange. Being sarcastic anyway. But anyway, you see the point that I'm making. They are just being constantly berating against Donald Trump, trying to stoke it as much fire as possible to try to bring him down. We've seen this before with Rachel Maddow, how she not only has been pushing the Russian collusion conspiracy to a major degree, but it's actually tried to attack Trump on his taxes. She tried to do so on live television, where she's like, I have his tax report right here from 10 years ago, and oh wait, he paid more than Bernie Sanders did. Oh shit. That's what's been going on, and it doesn't help that they are just constantly going very hyperbolic in the situation, like how Trump is supposedly Hitler, how he's trying to dismantle our democracy, etc., etc., etc. They're the ones that are dismantling this in the first place because they're just giving us fake news and unreliable information from the start, which is why I prefer to look at the alt media, and such as on YouTube, BitChute, and that sort of thing. Although, then again, at some points in time, I try to look at mainstream media just so that I can get a healthy dose of information now and then. But the mainstream media is not the only one that's compliant on this. It's the Democrats as well. More specifically, the progressive far-left wing of the Democrats. Don't get me wrong, the groups, the neoliberals such as Nancy Pelosi are definitely heavy to blame, especially with how deep-rooted they are in the establishment, and how they have supported Hillary Clinton and cheated Bernie Sanders out of the 2016 election. Don't get me wrong; those guys definitely have a lot of the blame to it, and they definitely have been contributing to this kind of fear. Although it is definitely kind of overblown. I will get that to my conclusion anyway. But it's more the progressives in the far left that have, or the regressive left, as I like to call them, that have been just going all out trying to attack Donald Trump for so many things. They have attacked Donald Trump. They have been constantly pushing for impeachment, no matter the cost. Hell, even right now with the Ukraine scandal, AOC and the rest of the squad still support impeachment, despite the fact that there's evidence suggesting showing that Trump is not guilty of anything. They just want to get rid of him, and that's only just causing this further shift to the left within the Democratic Party, because now the progressives and the far left are been gaining so much traction that they're now taking control of these leadership positions, basically going full on supporting socialist policies, such as universal health care, support government health care for illegal immigrants, and that sort of thing. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more than that, but I'm not going to get to that in this video. I'm already over 9 minutes anyway, so nonetheless, this rise in hysteria and this reaction as a result of Donald Trump's win is just making this even clearer that these guys are just sticking to the principle that Donald Trump should be impeached no matter what, even if he is innocent. Which is a scary thing, especially right now, how there's a major division within the Democratic Party. One being the when being the liberals, the center left, and which contains also the neoliberals who a lot of people do not like, and the other side being the regressive left, the far left, socialists like AOC, the Squad, that sort of thing. It doesn't help that they have major positions within the House of Representatives, because they can easily, if they manage to take over the Democratic Party, given that they are trying to be pushed up as the face of the Democratic Party, it's not help. It's just only showing that they are just willing to go all out to attack Donald Trump and the Republicans just to get whatever they want. And in this case, probably want Hillary Clinton or someone to be president instead, because apparently they see Donald Trump as an illegitimate president, despite the fact that it's the Electoral College that determines the president, not the population. Sorry, but that's just the case. Deal with it. And it's not helping with this mass hysteria that the far left is conducting, because all it is just further provoking a reactionary response for the far left. I already talked about this before with AOC within a separate video, but AOC and her comparison of detention centers to concentration camps, it's definitely contributed a lot of the escalation of violence from the far left. Antifa, to be more specific, they have attacked pretty much before even AOC came into office. Antifa was gaining a lot of traction. They began to attack people who had different agreement with them. They've been threatening liberals, conservatives. They have even taken control of Portland, and to a certain extent, Berkeley. And all of this is doing is just all they're doing is just giving them more and more power. Just with the situation that they're in the situation that Portland and Berkeley is now controlled by Antifa, it's just giving this far left mob more power to basically do whatever the hell they want, which is basically commit violence against anyone they disagree with, or apparently anyone they consider a Nazi. Now, how does this relate to this situation right now? Well, back to the example with AOC. She made that comparison with concentration camps. There have been several attacks on the detention centers and immigration centers across the country. Temple actually once said in one of his videos that it's 5, but personally I counted 3 from what I saw. From what I saw, it was the Tacoma shooting where an ICE facility was attacked by a lone gunman. Thankfully, he was shot and killed before he did any damage. Then there was, in Houston, an ICE office agency was shot where one person was injured. And then in Florida, an immigration center, not a detention center, an immigration center was attacked by some woman who wanted to use a Molotov cocktail to burn the place to the ground. Thankfully, it only left one person unconscious because of the fumes, and the fire managed, and there was no fighter. They managed to stop it before the fire got all out of control. So thank God for that. And the person who was unconscious is fine from the last time I checked. So thank God for that. So yeah, all of this is doing is just creating this unhealthy cocktail of reactionary politics. That's what I'm going to call it. Reactionary politics. This is something that the mainstream media has been supporting. This has been something that the Democrats have been supporting. And this is something that Antifa really, really is supporting. Because all in all, they definitely support this idea of trying to remove the president. Despite the fact that he himself has been not only legitimately elected, but has so far done nothing wrong. Now, the only case that this tweet is wrong would be something where Donald Trump, if he actually did commit something so bad that it would make Watergate look like a nothing burger. Then that way, that would be something that Trump supporters, Republicans can get behind because they don't like the idea of supporting an actual criminal in the highest office of the land. But right now, there has been nothing like that, and yet they still go for impeachment. All this is doing is eroding the confidence not only of the power of impeachment, but of the power of just basically the legislature itself. Because with the Democrats in control of the House of Representatives, where they have the impeachment powers to be in their chamber, all this is doing is just creating a reactionary event that people are just not supporting. In fact, a majority of Americans, whether they like Trump or not, do not support the idea of impeachment. Of course, unless something big, like I said before, happens, but still, nonetheless, that's the case. I do not believe Donald Trump will ever be impeached out of office, and I believe that he will win the 2020 election. I definitely believe so. However, it's not helping that the fact that the far left is trying to derail this process to try to illegally get the president out of office. All this is doing is just creating the sphere of a fracture within the United States. Because let's say if the Democrats managed to impeach Donald Trump as a result of Ukraine, even though that there was evidence against him, this would definitely place Republicans not just against the government, or well, not just Republicans against government, but liberals and moderates who just wanted to have trust in the institutions themselves as they were designed. And that alone is just going to cause so much havoc as a result. Again, I do not believe that President Donald Trump is going to be impeached. It's definitely overblown. But nonetheless, this hysteria is definitely one that has been conducted. I don't know what the word, whether it's concocted or conducted by the left and the mainstream media. They're the ones who create this scenario in the first place by heavily criticizing Trump, not giving a balanced report, and just immediately slander the president, as well as giving unreliable information at best. And it doesn't help that many of our elected officials are actually encouraging violent action to depose the president. I do not believe that impeachment is going to be possible. No. It would take a major action by Trump to allow something like that to happen. But if they do, it's definitely going to erode the confidence of the American people in their own government. And I believe that's going to be felt for days to come if that actually does happen. But thankfully, with the upcoming election and how badly the Democrats are doing, I do not believe this is the case. My name is Omi on the Art Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you have any issues with how I make my videos, such as how I frame my videos, how I speak, etc., or with the audio issue that I had to deal with, please post them down in the comments below, or just directly message me. Thank you.